a voice of love speaks. Thank you for hearing my words. There is a lot I have to say. You were at the forefront of my evolution on Earth, and for that I am extremely grateful. You have walked a path, a long and winding road to yourself, and the end, or shall I say beginning, is finally here. This is the point where everything changes, where everything becomes as it should be. The time that heavenly comes to Earth through you. Don't be afraid of your greatness or your power. There is nothing to fear. I am right here with you, always, in you and as you. The time has come for my presence in you on Earth to become known, and all of you are the vehicles or bodies I have chosen for this purpose. This has always been my purpose, and also yours, since we are one. You, all of you, are my creation, and I am moving at the same time you are moving. You could say that we are awakening together. I'm not a perfect God, I'm an evolving God. As I evolve, you evolve, just like all the different parts of creation come together into the totality of who I am. So do the different parts of you come together into the totality of who you are. This could not be achieved in the beginning. It would in fact be impossible. Did you emerge a perfected being, knowing yourself entirely? No, of course not. So how could you expect me to be any different? Undifferentiated consciousness cannot know itself. And through my deep desire to know myself, my consciousness divided and took form. And from your deep desire to know yourself, your consciousness divided and took form also. Although the division for you is mostly in your perception. The division that most needs to be recognized now is not the division between you and me, but the division between the different parts of yourself that are blocking your ability to receive me fully and to make your life as you would like it to be. And who you would like to be can be nothing short of who you really are. You are the link that brings my full consciousness reunited with all its parts into manifestation on Earth. Can you not see how powerful and divine you really are? All this time you have been afraid of your power and of your greatness, and maybe for good reason, as that power so far on Earth has been used only to enslave and control others. But now is the time of reversal, where the power is in the hands of those to whom it belongs. Those who will use the power to free themselves and to free their brothers and sisters on Earth from bondage and slavery. There has never been a time that the world has not been under the control of what you might call Lucifer. And there has not been a time that all human minds have not been dominated and controlled by this Luciferic force. And the time has come for you to know that I love God, am Lucifer. Love is all. And as I have become aware of my denials, so must you. And I am healing these denials just as you are. And now is the time to face the music of our own creation. You can no longer blame me for the sorry state of your creation, as I cannot blame you. My creation of denial, Lucifer, has run wild in me, but he has also run wild in you. And Lucifer is simply the consciousness within us that we have not recognized as our own denied essence that we have given a mind of its own and empowered. It seeks only to destroy, annihilate, and consume anything and everything in its path. And it will not stop until it is recognized for what it is and love brought into the places it once filled. And the only way to do that is by becoming conscious of your own denied self. Positive thinking and meditation alone will no longer cut it. You cannot destroy Lucifer by ignoring his presence any more than you can avoid his influence. And as Lucifer is in every one of you, you know you cannot go on much longer with his destructive influence calling the shots. The denial of Lucifer's presence only continues to feed his power, and guilt is his favorite meal. Guilt has you all so afraid to feel or do anything. Guilt has you so restricted and compressed that you can't even trust your own thoughts and feelings. You need to look to me or anybody else you can find to tell you what is acceptable to think or to feel. Or you think you need to surrender your ego or your will to me and that will somehow save you. Well, if annihilation is what you want, then that is exactly what you will have. Lucifer has you so firmly in his grip that there is nothing I or anybody else can do to save you. But if you want freedom, power, and real enlightenment, you need to get yourself out of Lucifer's grip, and you need to do it now. Things are only going to move quicker and quicker, and if you want life, you need to be able to keep up. No one is going to save you. In fact, no one can save you. Free will has always meant that it is your choice. Granted, until this point, you've not been fully conscious of what you are choosing. But now you are, and this is the purpose of me speaking to you now through this channel of my love for you, to make you aware of the choice that only you can make. Your choice now is to continue under the spell and domination of your own denied self, which is to choose death. Or you can choose life, which is to take complete dominion of yourself without looking to me or anybody else to save you. I am love, and as love I accept you unconditionally and honor your free will. But in choosing your denials, you are choosing not to recognize me and allow me in, and you will have no choice but to go wherever your denials will take you. This is not intended to scare you, simply to say that everything has its own place, and denied essence with destructive intent can no longer make a home on our beautiful earth. The earth now is in the process of moving through the heart chakra, as are each of you who have heard my call, and this process is the birth of my consciousness on earth, as it is the birth of love in you. And as with any birth, there is going to be birthing pains. There is going to be more ugliness than you probably want to look at. Creation has become extremely unbalanced, and it has become unbalanced by our own refusal to love and accept all of ourselves. And this has further empowered our denials into what you see on earth right now. But we are at the tipping point, the point of reversal, the point in time where those who will recognize the role they have played and heal their own denials will recover the earth, whilst those who don't will have no choice but to go wherever Lucifer leads them. Free will does not mean having the power to dominate another. Free will also does not mean giving your will to be dominated by what you thought was me, but was instead Lucifer. Lucifer has control of everything in the world at present, including your churches and spiritual movements, governments, education, and entertainment. And let me ask you this, would a loving God require you to sacrifice yourself, your will, or your ego to it? Would a loving God keep you enslaved in guilt? Would a loving God lead you into the annihilation of nothingness or oneness? I am indeed the essence that is everything, but without differentiation, there is nothing but an empty void of consciousness with nothing by which to know itself. What a sad and lonely place. A place I know I don't want to return to. And if you think about it, I'm certain you don't either. It is time to see how infected your mind has become with Lucifer's influence, leading you to your own death over and over again, each time losing a little bit more essence until eventually what will be left. But you don't have to die. You never did. You can in fact live eternally, but you have been trapped in ancient patterns that have been running your lives without you even being aware of them. And each time you try to move away from them, they smack you back in line, further enforcing and empowering these patterns until you get old and give up, and you slowly wither away and die, only to be reborn again and repeat the entire process, losing a little more essence along the way. But if you are sick of this cycle, then now is the time to get off the wheel of life and death and choose life. The answers you seek are all around you, but you've been so busy looking up to me for answers that you've forgotten to look at yourself. If you say that God is all, if you say that God is within, and that you are God, do you really mean what you say? Well, if that's the case, then you must also say that you are the murderer, the rapist, the corrupt power structures that you fight against, all the horrible things you never wanted to look at. If you can honestly say that you are all and that everything is within you, including the most horrendous things happening on earth right now, then yeah, you are on the way to real wholeness. But if you can only accept what is loving, pretty, and nice, it is you and your denial that are keeping these things you don't want to look at alive, and you will have no choice to reap what you continue to sow. You and only you can become the parental part of the whole and begin healing the mess that we have all created. But it is certainly not your fault, and you are not to blame. There is no room for guilt and judgment. But if you were to become whole, then you are most certainly responsible for healing, unless you wish to remain simply a fragmented part of the whole and let others do the work for you. If that is the case, there is no problem with that. That is your free will, and it needs to be honored, and you are loved beyond measure regardless.